What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bolero Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gab Lim, and Maui Up. What's up, guys?
Yeah, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert. I like that. I
The
like that.
NU Bulldogs and the Ateneo Blue Eagles play spoilers.
The bottom two.
The eliminated
two
ones.
right now.
Which was the bigger upset? Yun ang tanong.
Has to
Ay,
be
nako.
which one? I think for me, if tatanungin mo ako niyan, I think it has to be NU beating Lasal. We'll talk more about it. Pero which one do you want to talk about first, actually? NU beating Lasal or Ateneo spoiling UE's Final Four run?
Let's go with NU beating Lasal first. I think.
Okay.
First game, second game tayo, pare.
Sige.
Because
Bigger
Okay.
weight.
The bigger win. Although, actually, you could argue that Ateneo beating UE was the bigger win in terms of
Kasi
playoff
in
consequences.
terms of, tama. Kasi hindi pa sure ang
Good.
UE ngayon, di ba? At
Ah.
risk sila of losing, not making it to the Final Four. Whereas
And
Lasal,
NU Lasal was essentially a no-bearing game.
No-bearing
but,
game, yeah.
You know, it's still a big win for the NU program and for Coach Jeff Napa, who possibly saved this job.
that's true. That's true.
Kaya
The
excited
only
siya
team-
for next season, di ba? Parang
Oo.
I think yung press conference niya. See you next season daw.
The
Anyway,
only team
Yeah.
that has beat the top two teams this season.
The giant slayers of the UAAP, man. The NU Bulldogs. The giant slayers. You gotta hand it to them.
Anyway, sige. Let's do a quick recap of that game. Anong nakita mo dun sa game na yun, Cap? You were there, tama ba? You watched in
No,
USD.
I was in the second game. I mean,
Okay,
2 o'clock
hindi
in
mo
the
naabutan.
afternoon.
Oo nga naman.
Hindi yata feasible sa akin ng 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sorry.
Nagkatrabaho pa ako. So,
Baka nabuking ka pala sa, nabuking ka pala sa office.
seryoso, I wasn't there. I was at home working. I was watching on my phone. But I did watch this game. Now, for all those who were saying that it's a non-bearing game, Lasal didn't take it seriously. Of course, diba, lock na sila. If you watch this game, they took it seriously. They definitely took it seriously. And KQ was just trying everything to shoot them back into this game, and nothing was going in. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. The 3-point shooting dictates Lasal's success or failure in games. If they can hold teams to a few 3-point makes, and if they can make enough threes, they're gonna win games. In this game, they made one. They were
4.2%.
1 of 24 from 3-point range. KQ was 3 of 17 from the field. 0 of 9 from 3-point range. Could not get anything to fall. Josh David could not get anything to fall. Everyone else couldn't get anything to fall. Boris, Doydungo, none. May halong swerte rin sa NU, but you have to hand it to NU. They took it to Lasal. They took it on the defensive end. They were closing out very well on shooters. And on the offensive end, they were pounding it in the paint. My boy, PJ Palacero loves playing against Lasal. I think his season highs have come against Lasal. Both times. First game of the season and last game of the season. He both his season highs against Lasal. So he loves playing Lasal. And if you watch the first half, PJ was just giving it to every Lasal center.
Yeah.
I mean, diba? You just watch the first half and watch every PJ Palacelo post up against Raven Gonzalez, Henry Agunane, Mike Phillips. All of those three centers were just bouncing off PJ Palacelo. Every time he posted up, bounce off, create space, hook shot. I think he had 3 of those on the 3 different centers. He finished the first half with 10 points, leading the team in scoring, and I think he was just manhandling the LaSalle front line. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. And I messaged you guys, yeah, PJ Palacelo, let's go. And not only doing it in the first half, back-breaking baskets at the end of the game. Jump shot from the right corner. The three from the kick out of Jake Figueroa, the guy was doing everything, scoring at will, and what a way to end the season. He's the last center left standing for NU. They have no other centers left. Joe Gulapa left. Mo Diazana got injured. Kurt Persano got injured a few games ago. He's literally the only center left on this team, and he delivered big time for NU in this game. Jake Figueroa also, I have to give him a shout out, hit 2 crucial shots when LaSalle cut the lead down to 2. 2 crucial shots. And LaSalle, on the other end, tried to answer, but they could not. They tried to offensive rebound themselves into this game. I think Henry Agunane had one of his better games. I think had his best game. Probably. Yeah. 15 rebounds for Henry, crashing the offensive glass. 10 offensive rebounds. He was throughout the game just getting offensive rebounds, imposing his size. I mean, NU doesn't have anyone close to his height. PJ is what, 6'7", 6'8". Henry is way taller than that, has longer arms, just crashing the glass every time, just trying to will them back into this game, but nothing was going in for LaSalle. Yes, may halong malas din. That's why NU won this game. And what a way to end their season. I think they have Patrick Yu and Don Lim are the only ones who are officially graduating. Well, some may leave for pro. We don't know. But for now, it's Don Lim and Patrick Yu. And what a way to send them off. Just a win. 2 wins against UP and LaSalle. What a way to end their season. And they're mostly going to be intact for next season. If only those 2 are leaving, they're gonna have a very intact lineup. Maybe we'll see the return of Mo Diazana. Maybe we'll see the return of Omar John, or maybe we'll see a Collins Akowe finally rising up to the seniors ranks. I mean, if you know, for those who don't know who Collins Akowe is, watch the NU juniors, the NU Bullpups, and watch Collins Akowe. He is their FSA. He's 6'10". He's only just in grade 12, and he's already way more polished than a lot of the other FSAs in the seniors ranks. If they can get him to commit to NU, that would be a big get for.
That's
for
a
NU.
big if. That's a big if.
That's a big if. I'm sure a lot of teams are talking to Collins Akowe, but what a way to end this season. Tama si Maui. A lot of teams are going to offer this to them, to Collins Akowe. But what a way to end their season. Again, might have saved Coach Jeff Napa. Despite the bad start this season, they're 5-9. I don't know if you would classify that as a success or not, but kayo bahala. Samir, Maui.
Wow.
Yeah. If you told me na mananalo NU when LaSalle was leading in the rebounding at 56-33, you might have said hindi mangyayari yun, di ba? It's actually one of the recipes for LaSalle to win the game, di ba? Crash the boards. I think si Gab summed it up pretty well. When LaSalle doesn't shoot well, when they don't shoot more 3-point, when they don't get more 3-pointers than their opponents, then that's the time that they're beatable. That's what UE was able to show during the first round. For the people seeing again that LaSalle took this lightly, KQ actually played 31 minutes. Diba? Si VJ David had 26 minutes. And it's a big disrespect, diba, to Mike Phillips, who continues to try to will LaSalle to every win. Diba? I think if you watch the game, yung effort ni Phillips was always there. Just really a masterclass by NU, especially on the defensive end. They forced LaSalle to 20 turnovers. Aside from Palacielo, one player that stood out for me, aside from si Figueroa, was Tebol Garcia. I like how he played during the first half. I would think that he could potentially overtake Humamoy next season, maybe also Steve Nash. I like the composure of this guy, how he plays. I think yun talaga yung biggest threat niya even when he came from the juniors division. I guess the biggest question for NU right now is, as Gab mentioned, who will be their FSA for next season? We don't know if Diasana is fully recovered. We don't know if they're gonna get Collins Akowe. That's a very big decision point again for NU. I think it's one of the reasons why si Coach Jeff also talked about having an injury replacement for an FSA. Aside from the fact that they had to play the whole season without Diasana, diba? But I think despite all of this, it's sort of a successful season for NU. We all had our high hopes, diba, that NU could potentially take the next step, diba? They suffered a lot of heartbreaks in the first round. I think 1 or 2 game-winning shots from opponents, if I'm not mistaken. But they finished the UAAP season pretty well by beating the juggernauts, diba, UP and LaSalle. They showed that they belong, that they could compete without an FSA. Diba? I think that's very important heading into next season. I don't know lang if si Figueroa will still stay. I think he could potentially also jump and go pro next
Good
season. So that's another decision point for NU. For LaSalle, maybe they just have to much like UP last game when they lost to LaSalle, they have to forget about this game and move on, diba? Just look at the things that they can improve on. It doesn't look good so far for Kevin Cambao, diba? I think there's a reason why the media has been talking about all of those ligang labas games, diba? He has struggled shooting the basketball the past 3 games. I think this is one of the few times we've seen Cambao not hit a single 3-pointer during the game, diba? In our group chat, we were actually talking about how Kevin Cambao is ultra efficient when you talk about shooting the 3-point shot in the high 30s. This probably notch him a lot lower down, diba, sa percentage. I would be if I were LaSalle, I would try to convince KQ to focus on the UAAP season at hand, diba? Kasi anything can still happen. I think this game showed that they are beatable, diba? This is a team that doesn't have an FSA. This is a team that they should have dominated, as shown by the rebounding advantage, but they weren't able to capitalize. Mike Phillips has just been amazing and rescuing LaSalle the past few games. I think KQ has to play his A game, especially when they go up against UP. So maybe he has to focus on playing in the UAAP instead of Ligang Labas. But this is one of the few times, diba? Last game we praised LaSalle for having a supporting cast who everyone contributed, diba? We saw a lot of the wing players have good games. This game, I don't think any one of them had a good game, diba? I think si Raven Gonzalez and si Mike Phillips were the ones who had a decent game.
Henry, Agunane, best game, bro.
Well, yeah.
Only the big showed up.
Tama naman. Only the big showed up, diba? Si Agunane was able to dominate the glass. Those 10 offensive rebounds were very good. Let's see. Maybe he can build up on this game, diba? He was able to get some of the minutes back. Maybe he can capitalize on this game and show a different side of him come Final Four time. But as for NU, this is a very good sign, diba? At least for next season. Hopefully next season we can see yung pag-akyat nila that we expected this season, diba? That hopefully we get a healthy FSA, and I'm hoping that the UAAP would also instill yung FSA requirement. I think we saw this season the effect, especially on a team like NU when you lose your FSA, diba? It's a very big disadvantage.
You mean having a reserve FSA?
Reserve FSA, injury replacement, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I definitely agree with that. I mean, mahirap na one injury to your FSA, to your big man, and you're essentially dehado ka na for the rest of the season, diba? I mean, they used to have 2, diba? You used to have 2, but you can only play 1.
Yeah.
I don't think it's game-changing to have a reserve FSA. I mean, diba? I mean, most teams have more than won anyway. So, except Ateneo.
Except Ateneo.
But yeah, I definitely agree with Maui. There should be a reserve FSA for the next couple of for the UAAP moving forward. Because yeah, if something happens like what happened to Mo Diazana, hirap. A good point, Maui, na you could easily argue that NU could have been 8-6. Remember they lost a close one to in their first game against LaSalle where KQ went crazy in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
They lost tip in by Josh Wayero. They lost in overtime to UST.
Mm-hmm.
Those three could have easily been winnable games. And actually, it wasn't in overtime. They lost to Forsky Padrigao show.
Forsky,
Diba?
Yeah.
So you could easily say they're 8-6. Diba? Despite not having Mo Diazana for the rest of the season, they've been competitive. They've been competitive the rest of the season. Yes, they've lost a lot, but competitive losses. Some of them, diba? So, siguro if I were to give them a grade for this season, maybe a B. Hindi naman B plus or A because they were, and I think they themselves considered themselves as contenders for this season. Just so happens that the loss of Mo Diazana hurt that. So I can't give them a higher grade, but a B. They did in the second round. They were 1-6 to end the first round, but won 4 games in the second round, beating UP and LaSalle, eating UP alive and beating LaSalle. So yeah, I think with all factors considered, I would still consider this season a mild success for the NU Bulldogs. Plus, they're undefeated in the UST QPAB. Maybe you should have more games in QPAB.
Sila daw yung may home advantage no? Dun sa QPAB.
Well, malapit lang yung campus nila, pare. I mean, it's just, 20-minute ride or 10-minute ride or less from their own campus. So, medyo home court na rin sa amin.
Same color scheme din kasi, no? Yeah, on the NU side, I think for me, NU is the biggest what if of this season. Like, if you look at the team that could have gone from the bottom or to the top, I think it would have been NU. Preseason power rankings, ata, we all agreed NU was the clear number 3 at that time. And yun talaga yung big what if. What if Mo Diazana was able to play this entire season? Or maybe what if Mo Diazana got injured halfway through the season lang, or maybe closer to the season. What makes it really worse is like he got injured in the first game, the first half of the season, diba? Of that game. So big what if for NU. I like what you said, Maui. Si Tebol Garcia loved how he played sa game na to, especially nung second quarter. I think it was to end the second quarter. He made those 2 fast break layups. Yung isa in front of KQ ata, trying to block his shot. That was a great move by Tebol Garcia. Exciting future for the guards of NU. Kasi sabi nyo nga, diba, may 3 silang guards eh. No one's graduating. Actually, maglalaban pa sila for minutes because they're that deep. What's sad for me though, especially for Mo Diazana, this was a lost season for him, obviously. The problem is, you guys mentioned it, he might not be 100% by next year. Plus, you still have Omar John there and Colin Sakoe. And if you're NU, you don't want to go through another season where you're not sure kung meron kang FSA or wala, diba? So it would be hard to sort of commit to Mo Diazana if hindi ka sure na 100% ready na siya. And a lot of these teams, diba, they start their training camp or season as early as January or the start of the new year, diba? Feb. So that's the thing for him. That's another year that he might not be able to play because you want to have your best foot forward. So put in your healthiest or best FSA. So that's something to look out for me. I do feel bad for Mo Diazana. We really, really liked what we saw dun sa preseason. Actually, because of this NU Lasal game, yung YouTube algorithm ko sinuggest sa akin yung Pinoy Liga Finals. If you remember, NU versus LaSalle din yun. So I saw some of the highlights. Lots of alley-oops for Modia Sana. Those are things that they can't do now. I wish we could have seen that team compete here in the UAAP. One of the biggest UAAP what ifs for me. Etong NU team, because they could ngayon pa nga lang na upset na nila yung LaSalle at UP eh. Paano pa kung complete sila or healthy sila, 'di ba? On LaSalle's end, you guys mentioned it, yung 1 of 24 from 3-point shooting, Gab, 4.2%. Everyone was cold, sabi mo nga, Maui. And I also noticed, I think in the past 3 games of LaSalle, they've been shooting horribly from the free throw line. In this game, they were 13 of 27, so only 50% from the less than 50% from free throws. In the win against LaSalle and in that all close game against FEU, they were also 50% or below. And if I remember correctly, they're a relatively good free throw shooting team. Feel ko na parang tama ba, Gab, ikaw ating nag-joke na nahawa ata sila sa Ateneo sa free throw shooting after that LaSalle Ateneo game. So something to watch out for me the past few games. That could have kept this game close. But really, the biggest story here, okay, Mike Phillips did well, Raven Gonzalez did well. Henry Agonane, I think, was the silver lining dito na, okay, kaya pala ni Henry Agonane. Kahit focus on defense lang or rebounding. One of the bigger stories here is really KQ. Tama ka, Mau. I think yung ligang labas issue, whether or not he's getting paid or whatever, that's a different story. Pero
He definitely is getting paid. He wouldn't do it if it wasn't.
some people, I'm hearing from some sources na hindi daw. That's what some people are saying. Anyway,
Impossible.
Ulul.
Oo nga.
Ulul.
Hindi natin alam.
Sabihin
Hindi
ko.
natin I'm just saying, hindi ko alam. Kasi yung ibang tao sinasabi hindi daw. But anyway, when you're winning, people won't complain or people will be quiet, diba? Pero when you lose and you play like that, then people will start asking questions. So tama ka. I think that's the, if LaSalle is the number 1, they're the top team. I think sa Ballers and Boleros na mention ko to na, yun yung I give KQ a slight bolero just because this is unnecessary distraction for me. Like, this is an unnecessary distraction for KQ and for the team. And you're the defending champs eh. Wag mo nang, don't complicate things. Just focus on this. So, if I'm LaSalle, if I'm Coach Topex, I have to do everything in my power to sort of convince KQ. KQ, kahit man lang from now until the finals, sort of hold off on any other distractions. Plus, may Gilas pa siya. But I think the
Gilas
Gilas thing will help him out, diba? Yun lang. Non-bearing game, but still, tama ka, Gab. Hindi naman sa hindi nila sineryoso to eh. They took it seriously. KQ played 30 minutes. Mike Phillips was giving his all, diba? So we have to, if we were hard on UP, we have to be hard on LaSalle then here. Anything you guys want to add? Anything else you guys want to add before we move on to the next game?
Nothing much. If you were to give a grade to NU for this season, would you give them a B or would you give it lower or higher? Sammy.
Knowing na wala si Modia
Hey,
Sana.
overall.
Overall.
You overall. Yeah, you factor in na wala si Mo, you factor in their expectations for this season. I mean, this is their last game. So, how would you grade their season?
Sige. I'll give them a B. I think yung first half was bad, obviously, or yung first half nila was bad. But I think it saved, yung convincing wins against the top 2 teams saved them. I think that's it for me. So, if they didn't win against, let's say, if they ended 5-9, tama ba, 5-9? Ended 5-9, but they didn't win against UP or LaSalle. So, ibang teams yung tinalo nila. Let's say like an Ateneo in the second round, right? Or something like that. I would have given them a C+. Passing. Ano ba? I think C+ is passing. C+.
Oh, that's
Pero,
way more than passing, bro. Come on.
ganun ba? C. O sige, C. Basta,
C
basta
ang
yung
passing.
passing. Sorry, okay. I'll give them a C. Pero, because they won against a UP and a LaSalle, to end the season, I'll bump it up to a B for me. Yun na yung parang bonus nila. Because I think they did what they did their best given the situation and the fact that they beat the top two teams that people were saying that they could sweep the eliminations, 'di ba? That says something. Kahit na wala silang FSA. They competed. So, I'll give them a B. I agree with you, Gab.
Yeah. Ako, under all of the circumstances, I'll give them a C+. Gitna ng failing and excellent. Despite all the circumstances that happened, Figueroa getting injured late in the off-season, si Deasana getting injured during the first half of the first game. It's crazy to think lang for me that they could be tied. If Ateneo wins their game against Adamson, they could be the bottom dweller teams, but they were able to beat the two juggernauts, diba, who we expected to potentially sweep the elimination round, maybe losing to both each one. But despite it all, Gab hit it right on the point when he mentioned kanina na most of their games were actually competitive, diba? It could have been a different story despite not having an FSA. But you still have to fault them for losing those games. So, sayang, kasi the story could have been different. But despite all of that, they don't deserve a failing grade despite all of the preseason expectations. Diba? Kasi this season was, I would say, the parity between the 3 to 8 really showed up. Diba? Mahirap to get every win, diba? But they still were able to claw to 5 wins despite not having an FSA. Remember, the last team that lost their FSA after the first game ended at 1-13, di ba? Yung UST last season. So they did a pretty good job. I hope they carry the momentum to next season. I hope they convince Figueroa to come back and Manansala. Those two are potentially, they could potentially go pro, di ba? I think.
Go pro, yeah.
But they have the tools to be able to go pro. They have very good size. They showed enough. But I would convince them, along with Collins Akowe, to go to the seniors division. Dina Diasana. Sorry to Diasana. Sorry to our friend Omar John. Go with the young gun. Diba? Build up. Para you can get also the ones from the juniors division, the other ones. Build up, show that you are building up with the young guns.
Just another note for NU. Their last 3 wins are against the possible top 3 seeds of the UAAP, UST, UP, and LaSalle, diba?
UST, yeah. Tama.
Yeah, they won against UST. They won against UP. They won against LaSalle.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You gotta give to them.
What if healthy yung NU this season? Anong tingin yung where would they be standings wise with a healthy Modia sana?
I think they would have been competing with the UP and LaSalle, and I think that was their expectation coming into the season, that they're a contender. Jake Figueroa, you said it himself. He thinks that they could make the finals, and he wants them to make the finals because I think, well, you see the talent up and down the roster. They're definitely talented enough to compete with a LaSalle and a UP. They're tall enough, they're big enough. PJ Palacelo can eat. if PJ Palacelo can eat the centers of LaSalle, he can eat every single center of any other team, diba? He's that big and strong, and they've always showed me that they have talent from maybe 1 through 12, diba? Up and down their roster. It's a consequence of the deep rotation that Coach Jeff Napa runs. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But they definitely have talent. If Mo was healthy, we said this in the preseason, diba? Kung si Mo Diaz sana ang kanilang FSA, yung ceiling nila yung mas mataas. Dahil mas magaling si Mo Diaz sana eh. Lob threat, more athletic, yung a better rim protector, and we were excited. Remember, first game nung lumabas si Mo Diaz sana, oh shit, it's Mo Diaz sana, si Mo Diaz sana yung FSA nila. Let's go NU. Tapos it went down the drain because he got injured in the first quarter. So, I think definitely contender, yung battling for 1 and 2 ang dapat ang expectation if they were actually healthy.
Yeah, I have to agree with Gab. I think sky's the limit for NU. I think pwede nga, UP has lost 3 games and still has 2 games to go. They could have potentially stolen yung top 2 slot if that were the case, diba? You probably, I think one of the biggest things that we could have seen was PJ Palacielo probably having more big games, I would think. PJ Palacielo having to play that 5 slot and having to defend the FSAs have really hampered him in some games, di ba? Kasi there are some games we saw Palacielo playing less than 15 minutes, di ba? Multiple games because when the game started, he was getting 2 fouls quickly, di ba? Imagine if they had an FSA and he was playing the 4 slot, diba? Then he could have potentially not gotten those fouls. Sayang kasi I guess it's been difficult then for NU the past few seasons to really get over the hump. This season really was really out of their control. Diba? In other seasons they could have, but in this season you cannot. To be honest, when Mo Diaz sana went down, their season went down. Diba? You cannot win in the UAAP without a decent SFA. The only time you can do that is if you have a Mike Phillips who plays like an FSA.
Wala, mahirap. Unicorn din si Mike Phillips, sabi mo nga, Maui. So, medyo mahirap din maghanap ng Mike Phillips. Okay, moving on to that next game. Another upset game between Ateneo and UE. Obviously, UE playing without Precious Momoway, serving his 1-game suspension, which Coach Tab also mentioned that he was disappointed with the final decision to not let Precious Momoway play. I think unanimous naman. A lot of people were tweeting like players even sina Dave Ildefonso mentioned na it wasn't a good call. He didn't deserve to be suspended. But anyway, it is what it is. UE lost a close one. They were down 15, rallied to get back into this game, led for a few points in the last few seconds or last few minutes. But Ateneo pulling out a victory. Maui, your thoughts on this game since ikaw yung naka-blue? Ikaw muna.
Almost.
Hype yan.
Hindi naman. Almost a classic Ateneo meltdown, diba? I think we've seen Ateneo have double-digit leads the whole season, diba? And still lose games. If you talk about NU having that chance to make the Final Four, I would argue the same for Ateneo, diba? They've had multiple games where they had double-digit leads and squandered them. I think that's why they were able to win this game. Nasanay na sila, di ba? They found a way to crawl back and pull back and get this win. Courtesy of 2 very clutch baskets by marvelous rookie Jared Bahay, di ba? Those 2 were very difficult shots. 5 players in double figures for Ateneo during this game. I think that's one of the main reasons why they're able to win this game. I mentioned to you guys off air kanina, Ateneo's barometer seems to be Andrew Bongo. Diba? It's no coincidence that when Andrew Bongo scores double digits, Ateneo probably has hit a ton of 3-pointers. Diba? I think that's one of the main reasons why Ateneo continues to struggle this season and why Ateneo squandered that 15-point lead. When UE went into a zone, Ateneo couldn't do anything to break that zone. Diba? They sagged off. Imagine playing a zone where one player, when the 3 players in the perimeter is just playing in the strong side, diba? They're just leaving Sean Kitevis open in the weak side. But very clutch free throws also for Sean. A bit of a disappointing season when you talk about shooting, but I was actually surprised to hear that he's shooting 80%. sa free throw line. So maybe yung 3-point shot
He's
niya could
the
have
best
been-
free throw
one-
shooter,
yeah.
Maui.
He was 100%
Yeah.
for most of the season. Yung miss
He's-
niya was later in the season na lang din.
Yeah, so that I think that's why we're really frustrated that he doesn't want to shoot, diba? He tried all off season to fix that shot, but even so the aggressiveness especially in the perimeter, he hasn't shown the whole season. Some bright spots, I think Estuano also played a very good game. Except yung free throws. I think that's been the case naman the whole season, di ba? I think he shot 30% this season sa free throw line. That's so bad. He has to fix
That's
that.
a Ben Wallace would be proud, buddy.
I think if there's one thing that Shantuano has to work on in the offseason, it's tweaking that shot, di ba? He will get to the line a ton of times. I think he's one of the top players to attempt free throw shots. He has to do better, di ba? Ateneo has lost games, single-digit games. Those free throws will come a long way, especially in close games. Actually, nung dulo, natakot ako kasi, di ba, parang up Ateneo 2 and then he was fouled and then he missed 2 free throws. I think that's when Devin Fikes was able to tie the game. That could have been very bad for the confidence of Tuano, but something to work on for next season. But I'm very happy with what he's shown this season. Probably the brightest spot aside from Jared Bahay this season is what Shantuano will look like during his third season. Lazaro also was able to play a good game. I think it's been a long time since he scored double figures, if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah.
But yeah, Ateneo was really just able to go toe-to-toe with UE. UE tried its best, diba? I think si Lingo also played a very good game, hitting crucial shots. Si Rainer Maga was deadly. These two guys were the ones that killed Ateneo during the first round rally. But unfortunately, they lost probably the biggest game of their season, diba? They're going up against UP, diba? For that last game.
Yes, sir.
So it's danger time for UE. I can't believe that they're in this position despite ending the first round at 5-2. Diba? The magic number seems to be 7 wins. And yet they're still in this position. Getting to the final four, they need to beat UP or they'll have to go on a playoff if Adamson beats Ateneo. I just can't believe that they're in this position. Si Ethan Galang has really struggled. You've been saying this, Sammy, during our past episodes. I think during this game, he was able to hit a few shots. But even the announcers were saying that he hasn't hit a 3-pointer for the longest time. John Abate played a very good game, but it wasn't enough. Even si Rui Hachimura was able to play a good game. Si Devon Fikes.
Devin.
Rui Hachimura
Devin
lookalike.
Fikes.
Devin
No,
Fikes.
I think yung other good game ni Devin Fikes came against Ateneo during the first round. He hit a few 3-pointers also. But I don't know, man. It's a very daunting task to beat UP to get to the Final Four. Maybe they have to go to a do or die game if Adamson beats Ateneo. That's crazy. 5-2 and still in this position. Yep.
Hindi lang 5-2, Mao. They were 6-3. 6-3 after the first 2 games of the second round. But they lost to LaSalle. They won against NU. They just needed one more win. And now they're on a 4-game losing streak. That's crazy.
4-game losing streak. Yeah. So first of all, I was at this game. I love the
I thought
atmosphere.
you were at this game. Okay.
I love the atmosphere. Ton of UE fans because their school is just right around the corner.
That's true. Kahit sa TV, kita mo ang ingay nila.
Diba? Yung sobrang lapit lang. There were a ton of UE students, UE fans in this game. They had banners, they had placards, they had everything. They were all out. I love the atmosphere. They were loud. Some Ateneo faithful showed up, but very outnumbered. mas malapit ng recto kaysa sa Katipunan. So, definitely yung mas maraming mga UE. But Ateneo definitely had the game plan. I mean, yeah, Coach Tab was sad that Precious was not in this game, but he definitely game planned around Precious Momoway missing in this game because he extended the defense. Diba? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they were all up in UE to start this game. They were pressuring the perimeter, essentially playing UP-like defense, not allowing UE enough space to get off their shots, because we all know that UE loves to get up those 3-point shots, and that was the game plan. It worked for a while, but eventually UE started beating them and driving to the basket, and Ateneo has no rim protection at all. Shout out to Kyle Ong for trying his best to give as much rim protection as possible, but it was not enough. They were rebounding hard at the start of this game. Actually, throughout the whole game, they out-rebounded Ateneo. And there's nothing like facing Ateneo to get out of your shooting slump, because they finally hit some threes. The past 3 games, they could not hit anything except for the fourth quarter against UST. They could not get any threes to go. And it's nothing like facing a very small Ateneo team and you get free drives to the basket that you can kick out to your shooters, and they finally hit some shots, especially in that fourth quarter run that they had. On Ateneo's side, I love the offense, man. They were getting a ton of open shots inside the paint. Again, if Ateneo did not have rim protection, UE surely, without Presmo, had no rim protection at all. So they were getting into the paint. Sean Toanyo getting a ton of baskets from fast breaks also, which is what I've always said from Ateneo. You guys have to run. You're pretty small. Run. Get quick baskets. And a lot of their baskets in the first half were quick baskets. Josh Lazaro, Sean Toanyo, Drew Bongo had some fast break points. So they were able to get a lead, but eventually, this UE team, you gotta love the fight. And they were definitely energized by their home crowd. Well, they were home. They were in Manila. But you gotta love it. I thought John Abate had really good minutes. He was driving to the basket over and over again. Hit a 3 in the first quarter. But Coach Jack kind of forgot about him. He only played 16 minutes, and I'm like,
Sat him down for a while, yeah.
I thought he should have played more. I thought he was their best player for stretches. And kudos also to Rainier Maga. I think I've said it. We haven't talked about Rainier Maga in such a long time because UE has just struggled in the second round. But in the first round, remember, we were talking. We've always thought that this guy is prime to be the next big star for UE. You saw his package, his offensive package in the first half. Pull up mid-range, pull up threes, off-ball threes from off-ball screens, getting to the basket. He's an excellent free throw shooter already. He gives it on the defensive end. I think UE has something in this kid. Ang bali-balita ko is just like a Ray Mogat. He was a walk-on. He was a walk-on in UP. In UE. So I think they have something in Rainier Maga, and for Coach Jackson Chago to trust a rookie like Rainier Maga, that says something about how highly he thinks of this guy. Because he was good. He led this team in scoring, and he basically got UE back into this game along with Jack Cruz Dumont and Devin Fikes. At the end game, I just gotta give it to Jared Bahay, man. The guy has balls of steel. The guy pulled up from 3, down by we were down by 2. He pulled up from 3, just freaking balls of steel. Then on the next play, taking it upon himself, driving to the basket, getting that goaltending call on Devin Fikes. And I don't know if it was seen on the broadcast. Coach Tab did motion that, Jared, you're taking the shot. he did say, "This is your play. You take the shot." So there's obviously a great amount of confidence and trust of Coach Tab and the coaching staff on Jared Bahay. Despite him struggling from the field for a majority of this season, they still have the confidence in this guy to get them out. He's still their best offensive creator along with Sean Tuano. So I love that we were able to pull out this win. Drew Bongo finally came up big. Chris Kuhn actually had a pretty good game and hit some big shots as well. Remember when UE took that 5-point lead of Rainier Maga corner 3? I thought actually it was over. I actually thought it was over because
it looked a lot like the first round game,
Pare,
di ba?
first round,
Sabay tayo.
sakto.
Oo,
Sakto.
you in the first round, UE got hot also in the fourth.
Mhm.
And I think took a big lead off of Welo Lingo corner 3. And this seemed the same. The Rainier Maga corner 3. But on the opposite end, Chris Kuhn hitting a big 3 of his own. The captain finally showing up. So I love it. There's obviously some hope here for Ateneo. They just have to get the big guy. They just have to get someone, some form of rim protection because their defense is already pretty solid on the perimeter, but you can't hindi naman trust. You can't rely on Christian Porter to be your rim protector. I mean, come on, man. I don't think he even wanted to play center this season, but out of necessity, he's the one playing center.
That's true.
Diba? He's the one playing center for majority of the season. So kudos to him for just manning up and just playing center against the biggest guys in the UAAP. Sean Quiteves, thank you for the clutch free throws.
Almost a bad inbound play, by the way. That was a disastrous
Oo.
inbound play.
Muntikan pa fast break na di ba? Nakuha lang ni
Buti
Gitevis.
lang yung na-recover ni Quiteves.
Na-recover.
Yeah, but
What a choke job.
What a choke job and gago. And for UE, it's sad from being the sure number 3 team. I don't think they
Diba?
have a chance for number 3 anymore. No matter what happens. Shout out to my wife's friend, si Ramon Marfil, who I referenced in our past video. He kind of broke it down na UE doesn't have a chance anymore for the number 3 seed. Not in any scenario, Sam.
Talaga?
UST has beaten them twice. So if UST wins on Saturday, they have the number 3. I think UST is almost sure.
If they beat UP, they're 7-7, di ba?
If they beat...
That's the only scenario.
Tapos matalo UST.
Yeah, and matalo UST.
Ayun. So yun, I think it's 1.73% yung probability according to Ramon Marvelli. He kind of broke it down based on the defensive and offensive statistics of both teams. So UE has a very slim chance. So I correct myself. UE has a very slim chance to make it to the 3rd seed. UST has the highest chance of making it to the 3rd seed just by beating Adamson. They essentially have that already. And even if they tie with UE, they're still gonna make it to the 3rd seed because they've won both games against UE. Adamson has a chance to make it to the 3rd seed, but that will take a lot of things to happen. There's still a possibility of a 4-way tie for 3 and 4 actually. If FEU wins against UP and if UE wins against UP, if UE loses to UP, a lot of 4 teams can be tied at 6 and 8. There's still a ton of possibilities, but very slim chance for UE to get to the 3rd seed now. And
nasa kami ng UP.
Yeah, nasa kamay ng UP, but I don't think UP is gonna want to lose again after losing 2 straight games, di ba?
2 straight games.
So,
Para kalaban ng UE yung Lasal, di ba? Yun yung conspiracy theories.
And for Ateneo, the only chance they have of not finishing last is to hope that UST beats Adamson and they beat Adamson. So Adamson becomes the last place team so that they have the... I think if NU and who's the other team that's in the bottom? And
FE.
yeah,
FEU.
I think yeah, NU and FEU both have the quotient on Ateneo, so we're automatically last place against those two teams. So to hope for not a cellar dwelling Ateneo, we have to hope that UST beats Adamson, and we have to beat Adamson in our last game. So very complicated last couple of games. A lot can still happen. UP and
Four-way
Lasal.
tie.
Four-way
tie.
tie.
So
Four-way tie.
it's a sad second round for UE, to be honest. They've been cold, and for the one time that they were hot, or they were sorta hot, they finally hit their shots. Well, yung wala si Precious. So, the UE is a contender take that we had in the first round was not did not age well. Did not age well.
Fakers.
Not age well.
Boleros. Ang UE pala.
May chance
But
pa,
anything
may
can
chance pa.
happen.
You never know.
Anything can
Oo,
happen.
exactly.
Maybe all of those cold nights turn into a hot night. Diba? Come Final Four time or come do or die time. Diba?
Posible. Yeah, pretty much you covered everything, Gab. I think, ako sa totoo lang talaga, I thought Ateneo was gonna lose this game. Tama ka. After they led that for 5 points, sabi ko, sabay tayo nag-message sa chat natin, di ba? Parang, this looks exactly like the first round. Oh my gosh. That was a big 3 by Chris Kuhn. Ano pa ba yun? Yeah, and then that inbound play, that looked like an easy fast break. So, for all the missed threes or shots of Sean Kiteves, nababawi naman niya with clutch free throws in games, diba? I think he hit like clutch free throws during the championship season din. So, clutch talaga tong si Sean Kiteves sa free throws. Other things you guys mentioned yung a lot of the guys. Si Josh Lazaro pala. Haven't seen him have a good game in a long time. There was a time nga nung second round though na-injure siya if I remember correctly. So, good to see him back and have a good game. You guys mentioned NU undefeated sa UST. I think Ateneo is also undefeated sa UST gym. They beat UST.
Clutch si Sean Kiteves sa UST gym, pare.
They
Hit the
beat
clutch layup against UST. Hit the clutch free throws against
right.
UE. He's clutch with the UST QPAV.
Dapat si UST lang naglalaro no?
Crazy things happen. Diba? Crazy things happen when the games are in UST.
Yeah.
Also, just another note, UST, baka gusto nyo maglagay naman ng konting food stalls, pare, sa loob ng QPAB. Dinner time na yon. Gutom na ako. Wala akong makain.
Malayo no? Lalabas ka pa para makabili ng food, no? Mahirap nga.
Or kahit just water. Man. Walang water.
Easy money. They don't want easy money.
Tapos, ano pa? The 2 games that Ateneo played in UST, both teams had their FSA suspended. Ateneo versus UST, they didn't have UST.
Right.
Ateneo versus UE, they didn't have Precious Momoy. So, may malas ata, may halong malas din ata yung kalaban ng Ateneo every time they play against Ateneo in UST. And in both games, you mentioned it, Gab, they're very aggressive. They drove to the basket a lot, took advantage of the lack of the rim protecting big man dun sa game na yun. So that's what I expected din from this game, knowing na Precious Momoe wasn't going to play, similar to what they did against UST when they didn't have Motong Kara. But UST almost had this. I think mas yun yung takeaway ko more than...
UE, you mean?
UE almost had this. More than being happy for Ateneo, I think yun mas nasasaktan ako for UE because 6-3 after 2 games in the second round and losing 4 straight against bottom dwellers. To add to that, diba? Ateneo, NU, those are your bottom teams. So, not NU. Ateneo and UST losing crucial games. Yeah, ngayon mukhang tagilid yung UE. Let's
Grabe
say...
mukha ni Coach
Ano,
Jack.
ano, ano?
Grabe mukha ni Coach Jack pag pinapakita
Actually,
ng camera
Actually, parang ano na siya no?
sa game na
Hindi na
to.
niya alam gagawin niya. I think that's like the best way to describe him. Like, I don't know what to do. Because na-execute naman nila, they just can't make shots. Yun yung problema eh. Wala silang ma-shoot. And sorry to Ethan Galang, we keep mentioning you. But 1 of 8 in this game. The past 3 games did not hit a single field goal. So, that's like 1 out of how many? If you look at all the past 4 games of Ethan Galang. It's been bad. It's been bad. And yun nga, they're going to face a UP team that has lost 2 straight. So for me, this is going to be an exciting game. You have UP that's coming from 2 straight losses, and then UE fighting for their life. Precious Momoway, desperately going to try to redeem himself for, well, I think it's not his fault, but for getting suspended for this Ateneo game. So that's a game to watch out for me. You guys mentioned the other game. So sa akin, takeaway ko, go lang. Let's have the upsets. I love it. Para let's make this last few games a little bit more exciting. 4-way tie.
Four-way
Let's go.
tie.
Let's go.
Four-way tie.
I think it's gonna be a step ladder pang 4-way tie again.
Okay. 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 Sino ang bet nyo to make it to the 3 and 4 spots? If you were to pick one.
I think kung mag 4-way tie, I think Adamson ata ang magta third seed if I'm not mistaken. According to Ramon Marfil, if it's a 4-way tie, by quotient, Adamson ang magiging top seed sa step ladder unless their winning margin over UST is 1 point. So they just have to win by more than 1 point to against UST to have that 4-way tie.
But,
so
okay, but even without the, hindi, 4-way tie na lang yung chance ng Adamson. So, okay, sige. So, with the 4-way tie, feel mo, Adamson, yung lock mo, the Adamson believer.
Pwede ba 3-way tie ang Adamson, di ba?
If they win both
Pwede rin.
games. But,
Pwede
sino
naman.
lang bet mo to make it to the Final Four na teams?
I'm sticking to my pre-second round tawag dito.
Because I'm going with Adamson. I agree with you actually. I'm going with Adamson.
I'm UST Adamson. I'm sorry to UE. After their recent string of games, I have no confidence anymore that they could pull out a win. They're just so cold. They can't hit shots. Yeah, and if it's a knockout between them and Adamson, I'm betting on Adamson because Adamson has the best defense one of the best defenses in the UAAP. So I'm betting on Adamson, man. I'm sorry, UE, forgive me, but after the past 4 games of just cold shooting, unable to get out of the funk, I don't trust them anymore. If you asked me pre-second round, I had all the trust in UE to pull out big wins, but now I don't. What's happening? So UST and Adamson, man.
Imagine, di ba, there was a time that people were saying UE might steal the number 2 slot, di ba, or to get a twice to beat advantage. Look where they are now, di ba? That's crazy, di ba? That's why when FPU was 1-6 during the first round, it's actually the different story for both of teams, di ba? FPU is one of the hottest teams the second round and was very abysmal in the first round. But you're right. If Adamson wins the next 2 games, the game against Ateneo is probably more winnable than the game against UST. Although the game against UST is a must-win pala, no? But if they win those 2 games, then they end up 7-7, same as last season, di ba? That's crazy. Maybe Coach Nash deserves the Coach of the Year award in the UAAP. But grabe UE. I think biggest disappointment if they don't make it to the Final Four. I think yung fans nila have really come out to support this team. More than even last year when they were hosts of the UAAP, di ba? But let's go for a four-way tie and do a step ladder. Malay nyo, baka FPU pa yung biglang manggulat, di ba? Biglang tama tayo that FPU will make the Final Four. Who would have thought? But FPU has to beat UP, which
Enyo nga, tinalo UP Maui. Enyo nga, tinalo UP. Yun na lang sabihin natin.
Again, I am not betting on UP to have the same performance as their past 2 games. I am just not betting on it. I again, they're too good, too talented, too experienced to have shit games for 3 straight games. I don't buy it. I think they're gonna snap.
Mangyari yun.
FEU pala yung next game, no? So,
if mangyari yun, time to, tama si Gab
Panic.
from last episode, time to press the panic button if nangyari pa yun, di ba?
I'm definitely watching on Saturday. I think it's on Saturday, about UST Adamson and FEU UP. I want to go. I want to watch those games. Those are going to be big games.
But,
pero yeah, kung matalo UP, panic.
Panic na.
Panicking.
Panic na yan. But yeah, I agree with your pick, Gab. Actually, I'd go UST Adamson. To make it to the Final Four. Another reason for me to pick Adamson, I was there when they beat NU nung weekend. And Lasal and UP couldn't even beat NU, but Adamson just whooped NU. It was a defensive masterclass by Adamson. Respect talaga dito sa Adamson team na to. I'm never going to underrate them anymore. I'm going with Adamson to crack that Final Four. Anything else you want to say, Maui, before we go?
Yeah, I think I said naman that I want to see FEU and probably UST make it to the Final Four. Crazy things to happen for that to happen, but it's probably gonna be Adamson UST as you guys mentioned. I don't see UE or FEU beating UP. This is a UP team that will be very mad, and I'm sure si Coach Gold has given them the talk that they have to really focus and get momentum, get going into the Final Four, diba? Kasi it's gonna be mayhem and panic if they lose one of two of those games, I would think.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. We do have a very exciting UAAP weekend to look forward to. So, susubaybayan natin yan and syempre pag-uusapan natin yan this coming weekend. Shout out to everyone who commented in our previous episode. Sabi nga ni Gab, he'll be there. So, please say hi to Miss the Sultan of Sando. Mukha lang siyang masungit. And sometimes, guys, by the way, mukhang hindi kanya napapansin. Pero lapitan mo lang siya. Hindi naman yan masungit. So, that's it for today's episode. That's it for today's episode. Comment down below your thoughts.
May ganun ba?
Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Love you, Gab. Bye-bye.